Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today we'll be going over the proper form of completing the back squat, and we'll also go over some techniques to help correct movement form.
It is important to incorporate a proper warm-up as part of any back squat routine to reduce the risk of injury and improve movement pattern. Of note is to activate the proper mobility to achieve proper depth in the squat, which includes the hip area, the knees, and also activating the Achilles tendon. Here we can note 2 warm-up exercises that will ensure we activate all the tendons and muscles necessary for the proper completion of a back squat. And of note is loading the Achilles tendon and the gastrocnemius muscle, as they are an important piece in reaching the proper depth of the back squat. Sit and stand routine can be used as part of an effective warm-up and also used to teach the progression of a proper back squat. For the untrained individual, the sit and stand will create a positioning that mimics the proper form of a back squat, where you position your hamstrings parallel to the ground and also position your back in a neutral and straight position, thus mimicking a proper back squat. The successful back squat begins with a proper positioning of the bar on the back. You accomplish this by squeezing the 2 shoulder blades together and placing the bar right above where the 2 shoulder blades meet. Next, it is important to note foot placement. Foot placement will vary by the individual, as some people have more mobility and flexibility than others. In this particular case, we're working with an athlete that has a high level of mobility and flexibility, and so he can place his foot positioning tightly right outside the shoulder area, like so. In most cases, the athlete will need to place their feet a little farther apart, right outside the shoulder area, to allow for enough mobility from the femur and the hips to reach proper amount of depth in that squat. The next important thing to know is how deep you go into your squat. You'll notice here that you want to get yourself down to where you have your hamstrings be parallel to the ground, and you want to still maintain your knees right over your toes. A common mistake amongst novice back squatters is where they choose to have their focal point. You'll notice the novice back squatter on the right has a focal point that looks forward and down as he moves through his back squat movement, while the athlete on the left constantly looks up towards the ceiling. Having a gaze that looks up towards the ceiling ensures proper alignment of the back and proper movement throughout the back squat. It also ensures that when you move into the depth of your back squat, you don't appear to be tipping over and falling forward, as you can observe with the untrained athlete on the right side. It is common for novice back squatters or even athletes with knee instability to experience valgus or varus of the knee. Valgus or varus of the knee is either an inward or outward motion of the knee as you move through the back squat. You will notice here on the left side with the trained athlete, as he moves through his back squat motion, his knees are completely stable and do not shake to one side or the other, while the untrained athlete on the right side experiences varus of the left knee specifically, as he moves down and his knees tend to buckle outward. Now, this is something that must be corrected immediately, or it could result in constant injury for the athlete or even the novice back squatter.
One way to control for valgus and varus of the knee is to use a band. What you do is you place the band right above the knee, and that'll help control for the improper movement on your squat.
Here we can observe the untrained athlete using a resistance band to improve varus of his knee. The use of a resistance band for any athlete or individual will help improve movement pattern and increase knee stability, thus improving strength and performance.